It is week number 2 and day number 8 officially for your first and only professional volleyball league in the country. This is continuing coverage of the Premier Volleyball League Season 4 Open Conference. Magandang hapon, Pilipinas. You're watching us live on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Earlier today, the Creamline Cool Smashers in our first game of our triple header, winning over the PLDT Home Fiber Power Hitters in straight sets, which sets us up now for match number 18, the Choco Mucho Flying Titans versus the debuting Perlas Spikers. And then, of course, as we said, it's a triple header. So this all ends with the Signal HD Spikers trying to bounce back today against the Valley Pure Water Defenders, who are looking for a second straight win. Hello, everybody. My name is Boom Gonzalez, and I am with Ann Remulla Kanda for this second game of our triple header PCV Socio Civic and Cultural Center in Ilocos Norte. Coach O, Ann, was very happy with that last win that he had, while ito si Coach Ray naman ay for the first time stepping into the court officially for a game.
And that, the last 8 days have been very exciting. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this day for Perlas to debut on their very first game. As we look at the team standings, Choco Mucho and Perlas Spikers, of course, Perlas first game trying to notch their very first win today. And Choco Mucho trying to defend their position, making sure that they will remain without a loss so far here in this conference.
Trying to stay in step with their sister team, the Creamline Cool Smashers. In between, of course, are the Cherry Tigo crossovers. The Choco Mucho Flying Titans made it look easy in that game against the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. They win in straight sets. Santa Lucia in a little bit of a slump, and after a really good start for them. But our focus, of course, will be on Coach O's team. Only 7 errors in a game, which they won in 3 sets back in July 23, 2021. And you will see how easy it looked. 25-17, 25-22, a better challenge by Santa Lucia. But in the third set, Coach O very happy with how things went in that game.
And getting your team to really minimize their errors is not something that is very easy. You mentioned how clean that game was, and that's something that we hope to see again from Choco Mucho. It's them playing a flawless game really against Santa Lucia.
They wanted to bounce back against that game in PLDT where they felt hindi maganda yung nilaro nila against PLDT, so they wanted to clean up their game against Santa Lucia Realtors. And this girl, off the bench, pure energy, yes. Instant offense, yes. And a lot of, really positive vibes as she can only provide itong si Pongay.
And even if she wasn't the team's best scorer during that match, just from this that we see, the pure energy, it's very infectious. It really helped lift the rest of the team, having her in there. And ito yung sinasabi natin, yung mga magagandang hugot. It's when you are coming off the bench and you deliver right away. That is you really fulfilling your duty as a player.
Came off in the second set, and all of those points, by the way, that you saw, those 8 points actually came in the third set, where they convincingly won against Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. We want to hear from Pongay Gaston just before this game starts, so let's listen to this interview.
My role in the team, I think, is to bring a lot of joy and happiness inside the court. Well, kahit naman masaya kami, alam ko na ako yung napapasaya, kaya siguro OA yung mga dance moves ko. Kasi alam ko, yun yung napapasaya sa mga teammates ko. So I know that's one of my roles. Also, it's syempre, to have the floor defense and to have the main receive, and also to rack up some points din sa atake. So, yeah, I guess my role is also to just be a part of the team. Personally, natuwa ako kasi when I started with Coach Oliver, he gave me already the position as a open spiker. So, now I'm back to open spiker. Kaya natutuwa ako kasi during the last season of my UAAP, kulang kami ng gitna. So, ginawa lang akong gitna. Pero, at least ngayon, nakakapag-focus ako sa isang position na I know Coach O trusts me with.
And it's a position that she loves and is very comfortable with, although it helps that she has played in different positions. Pati kanyang depensa sa net, yung kanyang floor defense really showed in this game. But obviously, she loves and is super comfortable as an open hitter.
And if you're comfortable in that position, then I guess all the more you will be able to deliver with ease. So for Pongay, very excited for this conference.
Choco Mucho, of course, only mustered 6 wins in the last time that they were in the PVL. A lot of injuries and a lot of hardships. And now they feel like they have a great team to move forward in the PVL. But you cannot talk about hardships without talking about the Perlas Spikers, who encountered problems in their bubble training in Baguio. They come over to Ilocos Norte, go through adversity once again, get delayed in their debut, but finally for the Perlas Spikers fans, we will see these three and more, including some new additions for Perlas Spikers.
Mainstays, Tiamzon, Ferrer, and Nunag. Of course, we know that they will be the leaders, of this squad coming into this conference. Like what we said, this will be their first, this is their debut game. First time to be in competition. You mentioned also, Boom, no, how they had to face a lot of things, really.
Yep.
So it's not just about physical condition, but also mentally and emotionally for this team. So we anticipate how Ferrer, of course, who leads this squad, to be able to drive and navigate through their first game
And
today.
new addition on your screens, of course, Cherry Nunag, who will fill the position of Kathy Bersola, who will not be, of course, part of the team because she has to attend to her schooling. But you mentioned Jem Ferrer, so might as well listen to the leader of the Perla Spikers with this interview.
Jem, I have a question for you. Perlas has gone through a lot to get to their debut, from your bubble training into the long wait. How did you deal with all the mental challenges that came along the way as the mother pearl, as the leader of the Perlas Spikers?
Of course, it was very tiring for us physically, emotionally, and mentally. Sobrang daming challenges na kinaharap ng team namin during our bubble training. Ang daming days na naka-quarantine kami. And pagdating namin dito sa Ilocos, nag-quarantine pa kami ulit. So, ang dami. Medyo nag-struggle kami individually. But alam naman namin na ma-overcome namin lahat ng pinagdaanan namin and may purpose lahat ng mga pinagdadaanan ng team namin.
And I have another question for you. This team looks a lot different from the 2019 roster. Andun ako nung 2019. Nakita ko na madami ko yung dinagdag. What do you think of this new version of Perlas that is unique? Ano yung may papakita nyo ngayong conference kumpara dun sa 2019 na Perlas?
Yung bagong lineup na namin ngayon 2021, sobrang promising yung team namin. Kaya nga lang, medyo naging short yung preparation namin. Pero yung mga tulong nito mga bata na dumagdag sa team namin, sobrang laking bagay kasi magagaan silang kasama sa loob ng court and kahit na maiksi yung naging preparation namin, medyo nag-gel naman yung team namin and talagang ibuboost namin lahat ng pinag-trainingan namin simula sa Manila kahit na maiksi rin hanggang sa bubble training namin.
Thank you very much, Jem. There you have it, Jem Ferrer of the Perlas Spikers.
Maraming salamat, Ayitin Sai, Jem Ferrer, of course, the main setter and the leader of the Perla Spikers. Talking about the new additions, you can talk about Karandang, Charina Karandang, Tang Ponce, Jel Cayuna. But of course, ang pinag-uusapan din dito, other than Cherry Nunag, will be Mitch Morente and Joanna Maraginot. Your thoughts on these additions, Anne?
The pair of former Lady Eagles, we've seen them in action in the past. We know what they can deliver. I guess the bigger question now is how they will play very well with Perlas. They are new additions to the team, and was as Jem has mentioned earlier, no, konti at maiksi ang kanilang naging preparation. But there is no question about the skills and the talent that these two players can bring.
Heather Ginoo, of course, will be there as their open hitter. Dati na yan dyan. Maraginot will be part of that one. Sa opposite, si Morente maglalaro together with Doromal for sure. And as we mentioned, of course, the middle will be Nunag, who one of the better middle players, even in the 2019 PVL Reinforced Conference. as part of the Petrogas Angels, of course, so part of that champion team. Tang Ponce, as I mentioned, also as part of them. Jel Cayuna will probably rotate with Jem Ferrer as the setter. And of course, Tempiatura at si Tang Ponce magkasama sa Adamson University. At ganyan din basically yung sitwasyon ng Choco Mucho. Bea de Leon coming off an injury, coming off her leg injury, really didn't get to contribute to Choco Mucho in their last campaign. They had injuries to her. They had injuries to Dina Wong, who's finally healthy also. Maddie Madayag will be playing. So we're all excited. Teams that are basically with new players, new composition, new life. But the story of the day, of course, is the debut of the Perlas Spikers finally in today's match number 18 here at the PCV Socio Civic and Cultural Center in Bacara, Ilocos Norte. And Dina Wong finally will be healthy for Choco Mucho.
And, today it will really be a battle of how these setters will lead their team, navigate the plays, and direct. We will see how efficient they both will be. But what's interesting actually is if you look back in the 2019 conference, Perlas swept actually both their games against Choco Mucho. So for sure, these young players on the side of Choco Mucho would like to reverse and hopefully finally get a win against Perlas.
Choco Mucho only mustered 6 wins in 16 outings. That was Kat Tolentino was the only really powerhouse that they had who was hitting. You know, she had a couple of games at 30 points. She had a 36-point game kasi wala na silang makuha. Obviously, Opensa, as a lot of them were injured. Dina with that shin injury. Bea with the injury. But again, the addition of the defensive gem, Denden Lazaro Revilla, also pinag-uusapan dito sa side ng Choco Mucho. All right, enough talk. Let's go to our competition announcer for the starters and our referees for match number 18 of your Premier Volleyball League Season 4 Open Conference live on One Sports and One Sports Plus.
We now welcome our national referees for this match. First referee, Nestor Matematico. And our second referee is Erlindo Eusebio. And now let's meet the starters. First, for the Perlas Spikers. Middle blocker from De La Salle, Dasmariñas, number 1, Cherry Lunag. Opposite hitter from the University of the East, number 3, Sue Roses. Outside spiker from the Far Eastern University, number 4, Hector Ginoo. Center from the Ateneo de Manila University, number 12, team captain, Jem Ferrer. Middle blocker from the Far Eastern University, number 16, Zar Karandang. Outside spiker from the University of the Philippines, number 19, Nicole Tiamzon. Starting liberal from Adamson, number 14, Tong Ponce. And the head coach for Perlas is Ray Diaz. And now the starters for the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. The starters from the Ateneo de Manila University, center number 3, Dina Wong. Middle blocker number 7, the team captain, Maddie Matayag. Outside spiker number 9, Ponggay Caston. Opposite hitter number 10, Cat Tolentino. Middle blocker number 14, Bea De Leon. Outside spiker from Arellano University, number 21, Regina Rocha. And the starting liberal from Ateneo,
So these are the starters for the Perlas Spikers. They will, well, make history for their team. This is the first 6 as they turn professional. It's Karandang and Sue Roses with Heather Ginoo, their front line. The potent scoring of Cat Tolentino will lead this tall Choco Mucho Flying Titans team. De Leon, Madayag, Gaston and Arocha will magka-diagonal. Wong will be the center of the offense, and then Revilla will be the backbone of that defense. And that's, I think, one of the biggest changes that they made in Choco Mucho. Again, basically half of that team is new when you really think about it.
And judging from the last match that they've played, their floor defense and reception was actually flawless.
I mean, when you have a Denden, Lazaro, Revilla there. And Bea De Leon said it best in interviews that now the worry to recover is less because you know you have a caliber of Denden, and you're not even exaggerating because Denden, you know, was the best at her position back in the day and is still one of the best as we speak. And Choco Mucho off to a flying start here, 2-0. Something that they had a hard time with against PLDT, yung start, in their first match. But they totally recovered. Coach O very happy with the second match against. And the reason why he's also happy was because he felt like Santa Lucia is one of the contenders. And when you look at the lineup, you know this, and you said it yourself. Santa Lucia shouldn't be where they are right now in the team standings when you look at that lineup.
You look at the lineup, you look at the players, on paper, you know that they are really strong contenders, but the way that Choco Mucho played in that match, it was very impressive. So I'm pretty sure, you're right, Coach O would be very happy with how they performed.
Perlas making a lot of noise off the court here as Roses unable to put it away. Ferrer, back set, back to Kuya. And that is long. Choco Mucho with the point. He's looking for a check ball, none given. So the good thing about Choco Mucho, not only are the additions, it's also because the mainstays are healthy. Cat Tolentino, who enjoyed her time in the bubble. One of those girls who really enjoyed her time. She's roommates with Regina Rocha, if I'm not mistaken, and loved spending a lot of time because she's used to being away from her family because her family's in Canada. So it wasn't a strange setup for her to be cooped up with teammates now.
And it's good because they get to bond more. You get to have better chemistry off or on the court.
3-2. And being roomed with somebody different. Somebody she got to know for the first time in Regina Rocha. One of their open hitters. Nice read by Nunag. How big is Nunag going to be, especially without a Cathy Bersola here for the Perlas Spikers?
Where she has she's a big role to play, really. She needs to be an anchor really at the net for her teammates to, be able to execute plays for Jem Ferrer to make sure na libre ang open, libre ang opposite hitter. And on top of that, Nunag, as we've seen, is a very good blocker as well.
Yep.
So her threat at the net will definitely make it more difficult for Choco Mucho to score the points.
You know, Nunag and Bersola were always battling as the best middle blockers in the PVL, diba? Those are the two best middies and middles of the PVL in 2019. 4-3 lamang na dito ang Perlas, courtesy of the block by Tiami, and Nunag making an impact early here. 5-3, the former Petrogas Angel welcomed with open arms by the Perlas Spikers. Linihis sa mga kamay ni Madayag.
And this is a very good sign we are seeing from both teams, because Perlas is up, that's one, and you don't see any sluggishness in the way they move. Parang umpisa pa lang, nakikita mo na and you feel already the energy.
And Sue Roses, given a gift, she unwraps it and gives themselves a 3-point lead, 6-3. Perlas ahead, a good sign of a team that is starting late in the season. There are two things really, as Karandang continues to serve here for Perlas. There are two things here that I'm interested to look at in this whole week that's following, as this one is a long hit by Madayag. One, as Coach O will call an early timeout, one is the stamina. Because a lot of them got, obviously COVID and all that, and it has affected people in different ways. And two, their schedule this week is going to be so compact. Tomorrow they're going to go back on court against Cherry Tigo right away, who's aching to get back to the winning column also. So I think that's very interesting also for Perlas, that how they are going to mentally approach this week, and physically how are they going to recover, knowing those two things, the schedule and recovering from COVID.
Yeah, because it's different, no, when you talk about how they had to slow down a bit, waiting for their for them to be given a go na yes, you can play, and then now that you're catching up, and as we always say, iba siya pag naglalaro ka na, the intensity, yung pagod, they need to be able to respond, they need to be able to catch up also with the pace of their opponent.
And for the record, for those, I'm not saying that they just recovered from COVID. They already recovered from COVID from that first bubble training. I think it was 8 players, right, that were who tested positive. I'm just saying that, di ba, some people get affected longer than others. So hopefully, ang pinagdadasal natin, Anne, is they're all 100%. There will not be any lingering effects.
And if that is not just the case, like what Jem has mentioned, medyo agrabyado sila ng konti because nauna lahat ng teams to play. Therefore, conditioning-wise and yung pag-adjust with actual game days, nagawa na ng ibang team. Now they have to play catch-up with that.
Arocha serving 4-7. Roses, that is in, says Erlindo Eusebio, our second referee. Nice timeout by Coach O here. 2 straight points. Drops on the line. Nice serve by Arocha. The tip. The battle at the net. It's with Perlas. Jem trying to go for the 1-2. And a chance ball for Perlas. And they get to the technical timeout. Cherry Nunag with 3 points early here in the first set. We will be back. Technical timeout number 1, and Perlas was ahead 8-5. 3 attack points to 1 for Choco Mucho. I want to touch on what you mentioned, Anne, about Perlas being delayed and playing catch-up. When I talked to Nicole Chamson and Jem Ferrer, they said they're looking at it positively because they had the chance to check out the teams ahead. So they had 1 week of conditioning themselves in their room all alone and then watching the games and watching their opponents. And Choco Mucho obviously was one of them that they watched.
Which, you know, is a usual thing that team does. They scout, they study the way their opponents play. So maybe they're unable to put things into action at first, but it's good to be a little bit academic when you
Right.
approach how you will play.
Take notes. 9-6 is our score. Jem opens up. Somebody touched the net, and I believe it is Dina Wong. Caught for that one. Or was it BDL? 10-6 is the score. A good start for Chiami and the rest of the Perlas Spikers. Bongay gets the point.
Bongay and her infectious energy. Always bringing it on the floor.
Wong, more than 2 years not playing volleyball, recovering from the shin fracture, I believe. Bongay with a heater. 2-0. Choco Mucho in the team standings. 8 serving 10 here in the first set. Chance ball. Den. Bongay. Jem goes to the middle. Den, alternate setter. Jem will go for the tip. Den was there again. They open to Gaston. Not the cleanest of sets. But smart by BDL. She knew nobody was at the corners. And now they're only down by 1.
Very good presence of mind from BDL.
Zone 6 open. Heather Ginoo, the starting opening hitter for the Perlas Spikers. 11 serving 9.
Ferrer so far has been keeping the play simple but very efficient.
And that's basically who Jem is, you know. She's not a flashy setter. She's always been very fundamentally sound. Pero mautak as Bongay Gaston finds another hole in that defense of the Perlas Spikers. Second game of our triple header. Later on, it is the Signal HD Spikers and the Valley Pure Water Defenders. Gaston with 8 points, all in the third set in the previous match. Impact off the bench.
Well, now starting off very strong here in the first set. She's had quite explosive attacks from her comfortable position on the outside and also from the middle.
What broke down there in that play, and was it the set? Was it the run of Karandang?
Could have been the timing, I think.
Nicole waiting to receive. Tied at 11-all. The push, the tip, then sends it to the other side. Bump set from the back. Nicole jumps on, is wide on that one. No, sorry, check that. Catches the line. Good serve. The dive by Denden. Close to the net. She manufactures a set, but it's sent back by Bea De Leon.
Look at that read. Excellent timing. Tolentino and De Leon.
Turning out to be a really good match here. Perlas looking good, even with the extended absence from the court as De Leon serves it to the net, 13-12. Coach Ray Diaz has been relaxed and comfortable sitting down, while Coach O, as usual, pacing the sidelines. Arocha. Catches the line.
Seemed like it was on its way out, but good top spin to that hit.
And Tolentino so far averaging a nice 18 points prior to this game. Had to score multiple 20 and 30 point games in their last stint sa Choco Mucho just to stay competitive. And that's the reason why Coach O is so motivated in this conference, because gusto niya makabawi dun sa, in his eyes, very poor showing, because there was a lot of hype for Choco Mucho coming in. Of course, nandun pa si Ate Ila Santos, di ba? And all of that, but just injuries really derailing that campaign.
And with most of the players in better condition now, of course, now is the best time for them to take advantage.
Good rally here. Denden setting it up. Karandang will do the same for Sue. Goes for the cut shot. Bongay in the middle. Delayed by Cherry. Jamzon. Rejected.
The blocking of Choco Mucho has been on point.
Dina Wong will be credited for that one. Maddie Madayag was there for backup, but it is Wong who closes the door on Nicole Tiamzon. And Jel Cayuna now will come in for Jem Ferrer. Regina Rocha has 3 collegiate titles and 2 finals MVPs under her belt. But it is Nunag who gets the point, 15-14. Great showing by the newcomer here in the first set.
She's definitely making her presence felt. Most of the plays that have been given to her converted into points so far. So really gelling well with the rest of the squad.
Efficiency is pretty good so far. Keeps it alive. Cayuna will open up and a faster attack, but Denden, as always, solid, but double contact will be called on Tina Wong. 16-14, Perlas into 2 technical timeouts ahead so far in this match. Sue Roses on deck as the Perlas Spikers ahead 16-14. Your initial impressions on the debut so far and neto mga taga Perlas who will fight. Sabi nga nila, di ba? Perlas will fight and they're showing it here.
It's been a good showing so far for Perlas. You see how fluid their movement is despite the fact that they're behind in terms of number of game days versus their opponents. We see that there's ease also in movement. And I guess even if Jem had mentioned earlier na kinapos sila ng konti sa time to train, it doesn't show much, at
Okay.
least here in the first set.
That says a lot. And credit going to Coach Ray Diaz and of course his coaching staff and the maturity of players to look out for themselves while dealing with everything that they had to deal with. As we are at 16 all, Maddie getting ready to get this rally started. Nicole sends it to the other side. BDL. And Choco Mucho gets the lead, 17-16.
What's good from both teams is that you don't see any form of panic. No, if the opponent gets the lead, they remain calm. They try to do whatever they can to get those points in.
I mean, yeah, and I mean when you look at the lineups, wala na ring baguhan dito eh. I think we have an interview here, with Nicole Chamson, recorded earlier. Let's listen in.
Superstar outside hitter of the Perlas Spikers, Nicole Chamzon, is back, ready to reset, play the game excellently as she always has, but now embedded with a vastly different experience, with majority of her teammates being new to Perlas. As one of the leaders in the team, she said, and I quote, yung pinakamahalagang na ibahagi ko sa new teammates ko namin ay yung kultura ng pagiging isang pamilya ng Perlas. Through the several challenges that they faced together, it was surprising to see how bright her smile was when talking about the fun she had with her new teammates and how grateful she is that because of the bubble setup, it made way for her to get to know and learn from her team inside and outside the court. Sa hirap at sa ginhawa, magkakasama sila, and despite the limited court training that they had, they can truly say that they got to adapt and adjust inside the court. Coach Ray reminded them that there is so much room to grow to maximize as an individual, so they should never stop learning. Chami happy with her growth as an individual player and eagerly confident as a team. Let's see how the Perlas Spikers return the magic in their hands together with the Choco Mucho Flying Titans here in Ilocos Norte.
Thank you. That's Ai Tensai, who's there, of course, in the PVL bubble, talking about that girl, Nicole Tiamzon, and her positive outlook on the situations and the adversity that they have encountered, as Gaston on the hitting error. And sorry, you were saying something about them not panicking. Both teams, you're looking at them parang not panicking.
Yeah, because sometimes you would sense that feeling of urgency na kahit konti lang yung lamang ng kalaban, there's a bit of panic. But in this case, for both the squads, you can see the composure in the way they try to gain a point.
And I was following up on what you were saying. When you look at the lineup, sabi ko nga, wala nang bago eh. Diba? Wala nang, I mean, they're all young, obviously. But they're not spring chickens na batang-bata. So I think composure is kind of expected already with these girls, with great coaches, veteran lineups, and veteran leaders also.
And it helps if there's trust, right? If there's trust with the teammates on the court, there's trust with the instructions that are given by the coaching staff.
20-18. And in the case of Dina Wong and Maddie and BDL and Kat, as Kat powers that one through for the 3-point lead, I feel like even if they're younger, they've been together also, diba? They know each other so well, and now a 3-point lead will force Coach Ray to call a timeout. 21-18 is our score. Dina Wong will continue to serve. This is the biggest lead for Choco Mucho as they're lording it over in the net, 6-2 in the total block points. That's expected, no, Anne? With
It
Maddie
is.
and BDL.
And as you see them acknowledge their error. Coach O, being Coach O, at the sideline.
I asked Kat, has Coach O changed in the bubble? And he says mas intense pa nga yata daw si Coach O. But is not so strict with other things like curfew as BDL puts it away. Because they're not in school anymore, kumbaga. He doesn't check up on them in that respect. But
Different level of maturity.
different, yeah.
So it calls for a different kind of discipline. But when she said more intense, I can only imagine,
Imagine.
how much more intense that is.
He's more loose in certain areas now, but more intense in the bubble. That's according to Kat. Back set. Lead is still 3. Kept alive. What's the call here? The call is in favor of Perlas. 4 touches. Yes. And Coach O doesn't challenge it. Basa ng bola.
Nasa ng bola, tignan ng bola. Usual reminders. They still have a 2-point lead at this point. But as we've seen, it wasn't that difficult also for Perlas to earn those points.
Oh, tough set. Great adjustment. Oh, Ponce with a pancake. Then scrambling. Tolentino sending it over. Ponce again. Cayuna. Jump set. Dug up by Wong. Tolentino with a scud at the corner.
Excellent target by Tolentino, hitting that corner. Look at that long cross-court shot at the corner.
She continues her wonderful form from 2019, really, where you saw her really mature as an incredible scorer, reliable, consistent scorer, and nagpapatuloy ang kanyang elite form. Ah, that's a nice attack from Heather Ginoo.
You got to appreciate how smart these attackers are in really finding those targets. Ano? Kita mo, there's no defense. They find those gaping holes on the opposite side of the court.
It's wide. Oh, they can't afford that. That might prove as an expensive error in this set because that's the first set point, first of 3 for Cap Tolentino, and the rest of Choco Mucho looking for their 3rd straight win. Gel reverses to Sue. Pagkakataon para dito sa counter-attack ng Choco Mucho. Ponce, nakaabang. Cayuna to Tiamzon. Puts it away.
Kapit hanggang sa huli. Tiamzon in a good position now while she is at the front line.
Probably one of the most undersized open hitters that we have, but just incredibly effective. Let's listen in, if we can.
Okay. Sige, tiwala ako sa'yo, ha? Again, 3 spikers yan. Kung guys, sayang eh.
Yeah.
Alam mo naman, five up, babasahin mo yun eh. Okay? 1 up. Ngayon, sikat na. So, 1 up. So, 1 up. Okay, 5 up. Wala si Den naman andyan. So, balance tayo. Okay. Again, isang magandang receive. Tapos tayo. Take charge. Okay, go. Si Karandang pakatapat niya. Yes. Sige, nakandang pakatapat. Para bless mo na.
You know, I really like what I heard in that huddle, no, saying take charge, because it's very empowering.
Gervasio? Is that Ma'am Charo?
And Ma'am Charo
Is
is
this
there.
Ma'am Charo, right?
Charo Soriano also there, of course.
Chance here after the timeout for Coach O. Tiamzon again, and that's a point. Kumakapit ang Perlas Spikers.
And they have to play flawlessly to at least tie it to 24 with Choco Mucho.
Kim Hekiliana healthy and inserted here by Coach O. Great in terms of defense, great server, very good hitter. Will she be the answer here? They go in the middle, sent back. Dina will go to Kat. Kat with a familiar approach. Buhay pa to. Jamie sends it over. 1-2 play! And it is Dina Wong who finds the donut hole and a exciting first set win by the Choco Mucho team of Coach O. Perlas Spikers go down 0-1. What an exciting first set. Choco Mucho winning at the end by the skin of their teeth, but very promising for Perla Spikers despite the loss, Anne.
They may have lost that set, but they were able to keep up with the Choco Mucho. We've seen sparks of brilliance also in the way that they played, but overall it was Choco Mucho really playing very well, both on offense and on defense. Blocking as well was on point for Choco Mucho as we saw how they really were a threat at the net.
Flying Titans taking set number 1. Very tight one too. Cherry Nunag of the Perla Spikers started them off really, really well. But what proved to be the difference in the end, Anne?
I think here for Choco Mucho, it's more about the consistency in the way that they played. If we get the official numbers as well on errors, I don't think the errors were as low as how they had played last week. But today, it was teamwork really for Choco Mucho. We saw how Dina Wong made use of most of her attackers in front as we take a look at the stats in the first set. Surprisingly, Perlas actually scored more in offense, so 15 as opposed to 14. But when it comes to blocking, ito yung sinasabi natin, they were really right there at the net. Net defense on point, 6 points there. And unforced errors was maintained at 5 for Perlas and Choco Mucho with 6.
You know, it's also tough to duplicate for the second straight game to have a game na less than 10 errors, no? I mean, they only had 7 in their previous match against Santa Lucia. We didn't expect that to be another game na magkaaganon. It's hard to maintain that. They already have 6, but that's the reason why Perlas was also in it. But at the end, the Flying Titans led by Dina Wong, she was the one with the winning point, get set number 1.
And you know, when you talk about opponents' errors, it's a two-way stream, no? So if your opponent would allow you not to commit those errors, it could also be that your opponent forces you to commit those errors.
Heather Ginol. They're replaying the point. I think it was an inadvertent whistle. Yes, it was. Nestor Matematico, our first referee, if inadvertently called the whistle, so Cat serves again. Over received. Tang Ponce was there but couldn't keep it in play. 2-0. Thanks for watching us live on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Boom Gonzalez and Remulla Kanda. Ai Tinsay, of course, is in Ilocos Norte. We are here in Manila for the PVL match number 18. Earlier today, Creamline with their 4th straight win over the PLDT home fiber power hitters.
It's a good front line here for Choco Mucho. Gaston also the top scorer for the first set with 6 points, followed by Tolentino with 5.
So nagpapatuloy yung magandang ipinapakita ni Ponggay. As Heather Ginoo powers that through the double block. Jem Ferrer is back. Jel Cayuno was the one who finished the first set. Regine Arocha is whom she targeted for that first ball. Will she go back again? Challenging the receive of the former finals MVP in the NCAA. We'll go back to Arocha. Cross court. Tang smartly waits for it to bounce. Arocha there for coverage. Tang again. Tolentino will send it over. Ponce all over the place. Roses with the reflex. That is out. Smart hit by Ponggay Gaston.
But you know, in that rally, Ponce definitely showed what she is capable of. Very good defense.
Ganda pala ng labanan natin dito sa libero.
Oo.
Then Lazaro, Tang Ponce. Again, the collection of talent that we have here in the PVL is just tremendous from game to game, from team to team. Roses using the smart hit off the block, outside hand. We haven't seen Mitch Morente or Joanna Maraginot in action here.
Coach Ray still sticking with this roster.
Which was a good, good roster in that first set. They just couldn't finish the set. Tolentino. Ponggay. Reverse. Tolentino again. Chance ball for Choco Mucho. The Flying Titans with a combination play. And the 3-time NCAA champion, Rocha, putting it away.
In the first set, Dina Wong made use of all her attackers in front. But now we're seeing a bit of plays. Pinapaikot na niya yung kanyang mga attackers.
3 serving 2. Check that, 4 serving 3. Ferrer will go back to Su. Wong was there. Cut shot by Kat. One hand set, di na naabot ni Karandang. That's Ray Diaz making his debut here in the professional league. The first day for the Perlas Spikers. And in less than 24 hours, and they will face the towers of Cherry Tigo. Which is maybe why he's reserving some of the players also. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how some of these coaches will think and how they will approach the schedules.
Well, it could be a strategy, but I guess it's also a good way to test these, 7 players right now.
Choco Mucho looking to pull away here in the second set. 6 serving 3. BDL continues to serve. Tiami. Keep it in play. Regine. Jem will reverse it to Su. Good dig by Ponggay. Arocha could not get it over.
Good break there for Perlas to just at least slow down Choco Mucho.
4 serving 6. Sarina Karandang. Wow. Madayag still able to do something with that. Double touch. 2 straight points for Perlas. Five will be serving 6. Serving far out is Karandang.
Good floater.
Ferrer.
Oh,
Miscommunication between her and Roses. Regine puts everything into that attack.
but down the line area. Ginoo was there, but just a few inches shy.
Eight excellent digs by the veteran. Ate na siya dyan.
Oo, ating-ate na.
Oo, sabi
Ate
nga
Denden.
niya, Ate Denden na siya. 8-5. That means Choco Mucho, Flying Titans, going into the technical timeout with a 3-point lead. Eight 8-5 is our score. Magandang hapon muli, Pilipinas. Thanks for watching us on One Sports Plus. As Sue Roses. Bongga is so solid on defense, which translates into that run and gun attack.
Excellent call by Dina Wong.
But what about that dig by Bongga from the attack? And
It
this-
was perfect, ah.
Super.
Right on point. Kung saan nakatayo si Dina Wong, doon nagland yung bola.
Great counter for the 4-point lead. Choco Mucho is starting to hum. Utak.
She already mistimed that set. But being the veteran that she is,
Veteran who's seen it all, done it all. And has gone through the different iterations of the V-League na rin. As Arocha gets it off the blockers to maintain a 4-point spread.
you're right, because Roses has been playing no,
Yes.
ever since.
Yes. The original ano. Three points on 3 attacks for the former finals MVP. Call a net touch on Madayag, if I'm not mistaken. Seven, serving 10.
Ooh.
It's too long, too much muscle behind it.
These are actually the simple things that, as much as possible, you would like to avoid at this point. Free points. A good floater by Madayag.
So Nunag will be called for the violation there on the net. Biggest lead of the second set at 12-7. Sumabit on her way down was Cherry Nunag. Nice pickup by Ferrer. Hits the antenna though for Ginoo. This is the biggest lead now at 6. Coach Ray Diaz will call a timeout. Let's see if we'll see different players here, if he's going to try a different combination. This was the match that was supposed to be originally on July 20, if I'm not mistaken. The Choco Mucho Perlas match. But moved to today, obviously, for obvious reasons. And as I said, in less than 24 hours, they will meet the Cherry Tigo crossovers. They will actually be the first game tomorrow at 3 p.m. I wonder if the lull here, Anne, I'm assuming, is because of the rain that we're hearing. Sounds like there's some strong rain there at the venue. And,
Possibly.
And I don't know if there's a slick spot again at the venue. We haven't seen that in the last couple of days, which is a great sign. The PCV Socio Civic and Cultural Center in Ilocos Norte. We'll try to sort it out here. We'll try to find out what's going on at this extended lull in the second set. Choco Mucho ahead 13-7. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Okay, I think the lull is done, so we're back to action here, 13-7. We didn't get to find out what was going on. Again, unfortunately, we are not in the venue, so we don't know what was going on in that lull. The good news is, action is back. 35 excellent digs for Choco Mucho, 29 for Perlas.
Oh, that is long. Served by Nunag.
Magana yung lamang sa anim.
And here in the second set, what we've noticed also is that if the passing was good in the first set, for Perlas, that's where they've been a bit challenged. Delivering the first ball to Ferrer, and that just means less place for them.
Heather Ginoo. That's a really nice attack there. 9-4 will be score. In the middle. Wow. Jem Ferrer able to get that ball in play. Lazaro. The push. Ferrer will set. She opens up to Heather. Return to sender.
The attack has become very predictable for the blockers.
Gaston will do the honors here to get this rally going. Nice attack. Ginoo starting to feel it here.
And finally, a very clean combination play orchestrated by Ferrer.
Six points on 6 attacks for the former Lady Tamarao. Lead is 5. Karandang will push it to the other side. Tiamzon sends it over. The push, the save by Tempiatura. Long rally here. Reverse set to Kat, and Kat puts it away.
Always so much force put into her attacks.
Looks so good. 16-10 for Choco Mucho here in the second set.
Nangyayari kasi sa atin, naghihintay lang tayo kung ano gagawin nila eh. Those back are right side.
"21 attack points for both teams, but the lead is 6 for Choco Mucho in the second set, and a lead of 1 sets to love. Back from match number 18 on day 8.
Ooh, lucky point for Gaston. Very comfortable lead here for Choco Mucho.
Bea de Leon. 7-point lead, the biggest of the second set. Actually, the biggest of the match, even going back to the first. Bump set. Kat sends it over. Ponce chases. Roses. Arocha. Ponce. Nice push there, but saved. It's pushed back for the counter-attack for Choco Mucho. Oh, what a response by Jem Ferrer. Tina. Kat asking for it. It's long. What a rally. On a hard-earned point by Perlas.
And dito makikita natin no, yung tiyaga. It's just about the players being patient, making sure that they keep the ball alive.
This is the first match that Perlas has played, in 2 years, almost 2 years. No, tune-ups. I'm sure they had their own scrimmages and all that, but first competitive match. while everybody already had, in the case of Creamline, 4 matches.
Well, I think it's not just counting the games that the other teams have played. It's also the training days that they've lost
On court,
previously
yeah,
on court. Yeah.
because they can't be on court until they're all cleared. And they only had a couple of days of that, and only 1 hour per day. Just like everybody else. That's what they're dealing with. But just happy to see them play again, and not playing really bad, actually. It's just that Choco has just played sharper. They almost won that first set too. Now they're down 6 here with Kat Tolentino serving.
I think what's also important for Perlas is to keep in mind that part on endurance, because this is their first game. This is their first salang, kumbaga, no? In the real match. They need to ensure that they can keep at pace with Choco Mucho. First set versus second set, they've slowed down a bit here in the second set.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and I'm trying to, again, it's hard to commentate and obviously watch the game sometimes. It's really a tough, it's sometimes when you see the replays, there are a lot of things that we miss, but I'm trying to figure out if Choco turned up a notch in terms of their play, or yun nga, or was it Perlas slowing down a tad bit? It's tough to tell.
Right? It's not just, I guess, about slowing down a bit, but there were factors that we've noted where they've struggled. So case in point is the first ball, which in the first set they were able to deliver to Gem. But in this case, maraming yung ginagawa ng paraan ni Gem. So they lose the plays that they can do. Less plays in the middle also versus first set, where Nunag had quite a number of quick sets.
Long rallies again. This time, it is Madea who sends it over to the net, or sends it to the net. So it's 14 serving 18. Perlas first time on the floor, but engaging a lot of long rallies. But then again, you shouldn't be surprised. You have Denden on one side, you have Ponce on the other side, who are retrieving balls like anything, in Tempiatura too. So from a 7-point lead, and it's down to 3, Coach O will call this timeout. And it's always interesting to listen in.
Kapag ka naalo ka, pwede mo gawin, tapos mo sa kamay, ibalik mo sa gitna. Ginagawa mo kasi gusto mo itulak sa malayo, nasa malayo na lang kasi. Gusto na natin madikin, hindi kinakailangan natin yung spectacular. Girls, nawawalan tayo ng tagay. Nangyari, pag kailangan natin na details na lang, pagbalik sa atin, hindi natin alam yung gagawin.
So what you take from that one?
I think Coach Oliver's just really going back to the basics. Hindi pwedeng bara-bara. And for this team, kailangan alam nila kung saan nila ibabalik yung bola. And he mentioned something about pag nagkakagulo, may rally, hindi nyo na alam ang gagawin nyo. So I guess it's just reminding the girls to focus, keep their composure, and know what to do next.
Yeah. The digging here has been so good on both sides. There again. Hirap bumagsak ng bola. Wong opens up. Arocha! Targeting the smaller blocker in Jem Ferrer.
And you see that the angle of her hand was really aiming at getting it off the hands of Ferrer. Nilabas talaga.
Yep, outside hand. Very smart. Arocha will move out. Hekiliana will serve. Always been an excellent server, excellent defender, and a reliable attacker too. Good to see her healthy and playing. Such a crowd favorite too. I know there's no crowd, but you know what I mean when I say that.
Virtual
Yeah,
crowd.
a lot of people love her. Tiamzon sends it to the net off a good serve from Hekiliana. 2015. Speaking of the crowd, I was thinking about this watching Olympic volleyball too. As the Olympics are going on, obviously. As Kayuna now, nice dump there by Nunag. And it would be interesting in that 5-setter matches last Thursday. Shout out to Melatunay. Uh, you were watching.
The winner of
Yeah,
that
the
game.
MVP, player of the game, player of the games. You were watching, and it would have been so interesting if with the crowd element there, no? With yung habol ng Black Mamba, yung habol ng Creamline, and because I know at some point, and the crowd will at some point influence certain parts of the game, right? Put some pressure on one team, or maybe relieve some pressure on one team because you're getting some energy from the crowd. Yun lang yung kulang nung Thursday on both games. Eh. We had everything in those 2 5-setters. Beautiful day. I don't know if
If Mela had
same. I'm sure she.
But
finds
it's
it
good for the fans. Of course, it
super.
was a really, really great game. I thoroughly enjoyed
Yeah.
watching it. Iniisip ko lang kung nagugutom na si Mela.
High
but,
quality eh. High
but
quality.
yeah, other than that, it was fantastic.
Doromal is in the ball game now. A nice decision by Wong, disguising her hands. And at the last second, goes for the 1-2 and the 5-point lead restored by the Flying Titans. (22-17) is the score. Choco Mucho looking for a 2. Lovely. Perlas, their debut here in the PVL Open Conference. Their professional debut. Looking to improve this year and be a contender. We haven't seen Joe Maraginot on court. Another girl who had to deal with a lot of injuries also in the last couple of years. 22 serving 17. Ponce delivers it to Kayuna, who delivers it to Ginoo. Great timeout by Coach Ray.
Hindi yung sinabi ni Coach Ray, tiwala sa sarili.
FEU teammates, Karandang, Ginoo, nandun din si Net Villarreal on the bench. Mitch Morente makes her debut, not only today, but as a Perlas spiker officially.
Oh, sends that one straight into the net.
Always tough. She can't believe it too.
Crucial point, actually.
23 serving 18. Gel quickly to Karandang.
And that's what we've missed from Perlas. We
Middles.
haven't seen yung quick plays
Yeah.
or middle attackers.
Mismo si yung Cathy Bersola element as Roma
Yeah.
Doromal will serve. Cherry Nunag was very effective in the first set early.
Missing here in the second.
Oh, nawala dito. 2 straight points. Doromal with a service ace. Kumakapit. Sabi nga, Perlas will fight. That's their hashtag. Ooh, 2 service errors. Gifting the Flying Titans with a set point. Ferrer will come back. Roses will come back. Kayuna will move out.
Coach Ray hoping that they can still try and get in some points.
8 points already for Pongay. That matches her previous score in the last match, and it is defense that wins it for Choco Mucho in the second set of your second game of your Sunday triple header here, the PVL on One Sports.
seeing here some highlights of set number 2, which the Choco Mucho Flying Titans won 25-20 against Perlas. So much power and intensity coming from the attacks of the Flying Titans, with their blocking proving to be a key strength for the team going up against Perlas. Perlas also had a good showing at the start of the second set, but slowed down in the latter part with some errors, giving free points to Choco Mucho. We are back here taking a look at the statistics for set number 2. Attack points not that far off between Perlas Spikers and Choco Mucho Titans, 10-11. 2 block points for Choco Mucho. Perlas has shown a spark when it comes to service aces, scoring 3 points there. But the numbers here are just glaring, where unforced errors. There are 12 unforced errors, so as opposed to 6 for Choco Mucho.
Who maintains that number from the first set. They had 6 in the first set. They only had 5, I believe, talking about Perlas Spikers, and in terms of their unforced errors. So 17 all in all now, while for Choco Mucho, it is 12 for 2 sets so far. That aside, it's still good to see Perlas Spikers out of the caves and into the court.
Yes.
Playing. And now maybe get the 2 sets to kind of get their groove here, and maybe let's see if they can snatch a set.
I think for this team, there are never any excuses, because they know how
for sure.
important each match, they get to play. But, you got to play it the best that you can. They need more, definitely, because Choco Mucho is not making things any easier.
Look at the power from Kat Tolentino's attack. I mean, I know that point went to Perlas, but
Yung braso, there's
Grabe.
so much force that she puts in. Siguro if you're there live, you would hear the sound from when her hand contacts the ball.
we talked about her history with injury, which is one of the concerns, right? And we all know she had a couple of ACLs, and then to not play for a long time and then get back and try to stay in shape. And she said that Coach Onaman will always put pressure on everybody to stay in shape in general, individually, but as we've established, iba yung court time, iba yung time with the ball. And she, in the back of her mind, she thought about that, that she has a history with injury, and the inactivity might have an effect on her, pero, she knows that she has to mentally get over that hump, as we see the new addition for Perlas Spiker, the other new addition other than Nunag and Morente, Maraginot, against some teammates of hers. She sends that one into the antenna. Tuhod din yan si Maraginot, yung kanyang naging injury.
Which is a very difficult injury for any athlete.
Just ask Kat, yeah. Had a couple of them. 3 serving 1. Better start here by Perlas. Nice reaction by Sue to keep it in play. Morente with a couple of low hits. One from the service area, the other on the rolling spike. But ito, sumugal na dito si Coach Ray. He probably feels he's got to try something new and a new combination.
Well,
bring the shock troopers.
And so far in the first 2 sets that we've seen, it was Nunag actually, surprisingly, still tops the score with 9 points. She was quiet in the second set, but very efficient in siguro delivering in the points. And Ginoo, who we've mentioned a lot, now they need to find other attackers to support the scoring.
And it just went to Morente. Kanina si Maraginot. Roses naman. Ekeliana. Chance here for Choco Mucho. They're down 1. Ekeliana will send it over. Maraginot. That's a nice play. But couldn't get it over the net. Mababa ba yung set doon, Ann?
Seemed like it. But ito yung sinasabi natin, adjustments necessary. Minsan pag nakatalon ka na near the attacker, mahirap na ring mag-adjust.
3-all. It is PDL, Pongay, Hekiliana, Madayag, Tolentino, all in for Choco Mucho and Denden, Lazaro Revilla. But right now, Dina Wong, of course, their setter. In the meantime, Maraginot, Roses, Cayuna, Nunag, Ponce, and Morente, the 6 for Coach Ray Diaz. Chance here to take the lead. Morente sends it over. Nabubungan. Madayag was asking for, I think, 4 touches on the other side or a lift. Oh, I think I understand now what the lull was earlier. It was Nestor Matematico as our first referee earlier.
Yes.
Diba?
Yes. Nestor Matematico was the first.
Oh. So maybe that was the lull earlier, that they had to switch referees.
Probably have to check that for what reason. As we look at this play. Free ball for Perlas. Cayuna sets to Morente. Point goes to Choco Mucho. Perlas a bit disorganized at the start of the third set.
(5-3). 2 sets to love for BDL and the rest of the Flying Titans. Nice attack there by Roses.
Excellent play. It was a good combination play with 2 attackers going for that set.
Five serving 4. Maddie able to tip it to the other side. Not the cleanest of hits, but good enough for the 6-4 lead as Cap Tolentino will go back to serve for Choco Mucho here in the second game of our triple header. Match number 18. Over received, and you can't do that when you have Madayag and Tolentino and BDL on the other side.
Such a nice gift. Good placement as well from Madayag.
7-4. Gel to the running Sue Roses. Naipit ang bola.
And this is Rose's second point coming off a running attack.
The ever reliable. Look at that. 2002 UAAP MVP.
That's how experienced she is.
Look at all those MVPs from the former versions of the V-League. But in the meantime, it is Choco Mucho. Oh, look at that. Dancing and smiling and feeling good about this 3-point lead and the 2 sets to love so far. Kim Hekeliana back serving 8-5. You saw Nicole Tiamzon on the bench earlier. Shannon Palak also, the former Tigress, on the bench of the Perlas Spikers, who are now down by 4 and down by 2 sets. The Ilonga on deck. Morentes check. They bump it back to her. That catches the line. That's a smart one. That's a smart cut shot.
At this point, they just need to make sure it don't need fancy plays, but just efficient ones, well-placed ones.
They don't need a service error too right now. Let's see. Better serve this time. Free ball. Tempiatura. Gel sets it up. Good dive there. Kiliana was the one kept that ball alive. Back to Perlas. Tempiatura sends it over to Roses. Revilla able to put it up, which led to the run and gun attack by Madayag.
It's so nice to see, pagka nakikita mo yung mga play na ganyan, they look so fluid, very good connection with Dina Wong.
And you know what adds to the niceness, as you would say, as you look at her accolades here? It's because she's long and lean and athletic that when she approaches and runs and gets a clean attack, it looks even better. And then of course,
Visually,
ang lakas pa ng palo, so ang tulis, nakapatong sa bola, so everything really looks, from an optic standpoint, really looks perfect. Kayuna smartly gets the 1-2 play. Napatukan pa.
Naka-point na nga.
So now, Ray Diaz has brought in the other FEU Lady Tamaral, Net Villarreal. So nagbalasa na talaga siya dito sa set 3. Almost completely overhauling the lineup. But again, we expect this in the first 2 games for Perlas.
They will have to look into that right combination, what would work.
It's out, but Cherry says it touched the player.
Okay, clarifying if it's out.
So walang nag-touch. So they're gonna call it out. (11-7). And again, Kayuna looking at zone 1. Nagagalit si Coach O dito sa gilid.
Very good peripheral vision for Kayuna. Nakadalawa na.
You'll take it. I could still hear
I can
Coach.
hear it. Yung bolang yan. Yung bolang yan ang kailangan nilang tignan. Always keep your eyes on the ball.
Kayuna doing very well as she replaces Jem Ferrer. But as I say that, she serves it into the net. .7 attack. Steady at 8. Itong si Pongay. With a 4-point lead. Sue Roses continues to do damage.
Roses has been consistent. Again, not very flashy. But gets those points in. Maraginot.
Kita namin yun.
Oh.
Joe. Four-point lead. After that net serve, PDL will go back. A lot of talking happening on the court, which is always a good thing.
Communication, you see them really calling it out, no? What to do next, what the opponent will do next, but that one gets Perlas a point.
Walang kakupas-kupas. It's 2 Roses.
Making it look very simple.
$13-10 is the score. And Maddie Madayag sends it to the hole.
Let's take a look at that again. Drop ball right in the middle.
Number 10 for the team out. Number 16, Jamie Victoria again. Number 3, ball out. Number 4, Caitlin Virai again. Now serving for the Flying Titans, Jamie Victoria.
That's out. 14-11. Sue Roses will go back to serve.
Ooh.
Was the set too low and
It seemed like it was okay. Coming off a
okay.
good pass. Set was also good. Maybe lacked snap of the wrist on the side of Madayag.
Jamie La Victoria, by the way, one setting now for Choco Mucho, replacing Dina Wong. I think Coach O will call a timeout. I think I saw Caitlin Virai also on the court for Coach O, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so it's a different combination too.
Patience tayo. Nadidepensa nila yung palo natin. Nagugulat tayo. Iba na ito. Bumabalik sa atin. Spacing into one. Sino dati sa kalaban? 65. Let's go. Step up, Mali.
Still serving for Perlas, Sue Roses.
Sue Roses will serve 12, serving 14. That, oh, I thought it was going to drop in. But no, it sails out. So good timeout by Coach O to disrupt the server there. Ice the server, as they say. Sometimes that's all you need. Look at that. I thought he was going to drop. But it didn't.
It was a good floater.
Ganda eh, no?
Oh, pero yung mga ganyan floater talaga, there's that right amount of power that you need
Of
to
course,
put in.
or else it will sail out. And just like that, after the timeout, 2 straight points by Coach O. They lead 16-12.
Still serving Caitlin Virai.
16-12. Choco Mucho looking to get a straight sets win. But Mitch Morente and the rest of the Perlas Spikers have other ideas here, but they need to fight back. They've hung tough, but they've never been able to get over the hump in the first two sets. Again,
Perhaps safe to say it hasn't been enough.
yeah, but again, it's their first game. Unfortunately, in this short tournament, nobody's going to wait for you. You got to really get your act together real quick. But again, this is the first game. It's going to be a tough week for them of catching up almost every day. You're going to be playing volleyball. La Vittoria touches the net with her elbow, if I'm not mistaken, yes.
I guess
Sorry, go ahead, Anne.
it also doesn't help that for Perlas, they're going up against a team that is actually on an upward momentum in Choco Mucho.
Oh, sabi nga nila, kahit dalawang games pa lang, the fact that it was a better game than the first is, wow, what a serve by Mitch. That really went way low. Two games, but as you said, major improvement from the first. And they're looking to win a third one to stay behind their sister team, Creamline Cold Smashers, who are at 4-0.
Ooh.
Nice soft attack by Villarreal. (15-17). At the errors piling up now, and
26 for Perlas, 17 for Choco Mucho.
the push doesn't work. Nobody touched it. So 3 straight points for Perlas. And now only down by 1. So which means Wong will come back into set, replacing Caitlin Viray, and Gaston will replace Jamie La Vittoria. Cat Tolentino back. The starters, basically.
Coach Oliver just making sure that hopefully they seal the deal here in the third set.
Nothing like bringing back your starters for instant impact. And Bongay now with more points from the previous game. That is her 9th.
Very serious looking players on the floor, despite the fact that they're up by 2.
It's too low.
The connection between Nunag and Kayuna still missing at this point. Parang hindi sila nagtatagpo.
Sila work in progress. No, kanina maganda kay Ferrer tsaka kay Nunag. Pero ito hindi pa nagkakaamuyan. Mababa yung hatid ng bola kay Cherry. Was way over the ball. The ball was way under her. Nice dig there. With the one hand. Ponce. To Kayuna. Smartly swiping it off. Gaston. Diaz. Final instructions. Sarina Carandang, Heather Ginoo, the starters, right now supporting the players on the floor who are down by 2. She receives, she attacks. Bongay. Su. Denden taking that ball. Bongay again. Chance for Choco Mucho. The push doesn't work. On the second touch, Nunag gets it. Then couldn't keep it in play.
Well, it wasn't one of the best hits that you would see from Nunag. She tried to make the best out of that play. That's still a point.
Only down by 1. PVL on One Sports and One Sports Plus. And we're also greeting everybody watching the replays in whatever platform they're watching. I know the One Sports YouTube channel also posts the replays of the games right away. So in whatever platform you're watching, whether live on replays, thank you for checking out your favorite players in the first and only professional league in the Philippines. Under the ball was Joanna Maraguinot, and still trying to find her stroke here and her form. Do you like playing in those volleyball uniform question, Anne, since you've been playing also for a very long time? Long sleeves, those, you know, or this one, this version.
I haven't had the chance to play in
Really?
long sleeves, but we
Never?
did use it as a warmer. So like for
Warmers,
warm-ups,
right.
But uniforms, it's always been either short sleeves or sleeveless.
Sleeveless, yeah. Then will set it up to Kat. Kat with that approach. Morente digging. Come to the opposite side. Then again. Kat again. And Morente could not keep it in play with her left hand. So Tolentino extends the lead to 3. 21-18 here towards the business end of the third set. And Coach Ray Diaz will punch the timeout button.
Still serving.
21-18 is our score. And Choco Mucho, 4 points away from win number 3. It's a good attack by Joe Maraguinot from the opposite side. Cutting the lead down to 2. Not done yet. Aquiliana will save this possession. Cherry. Morente. And Kat Tolentino rejects her at the net. (22-19) as a score, BDL. Gel sends it over to Sue. Good defense there by Choco. Ponce chasing it. Maraguinot just sends it over for the chance ball for Choco Mucho. And Aquiliana puts it away.
Everybody having a fair share of scoring for Choco Mucho.
Last ditch stand for Coach Ray Diaz here. We'll call a timeout.
Pagkaroon ka ng baon, sabi mo agad na pag-chance mo ito, pagka wala ito lang, ano nangyayari? Kapag nag-isip ng baby,
(23-19). You think, if you listen to Coach O in that timeout, you think they were down 2 sets, right?
He's always intense like that.
The perfectionist that he is. They want to finish strong here. And they don't want to give any kind of hope and confidence to Perlas coming back. 23-19.
But you know, it's a good way of being consistent. You train your team mentally that they have to always be, playing quality volleyball.
Beautiful kill by Nunag there.
We've missed that
Yeah.
in the previous sets.
Oh, that it's happened in the first, second, and third set, and that they have a service error either at the 23rd or the 22nd point of Choco Mucho. And that will set us up for 4 match points.
Ito yung sinasabi nila panapos. It's controlling, having better control. Magkakaroon ng panapos after each and every set.
Tiamzon is back. Match point number 1. Nicole. Ponce. Chance ball. Denden sends it over. Run and gun. Cayuna. Reverse set. Revilla solid on defense. Tiamzon. It is long. And Choco Mucho Flying Titans unscathed in 3 sets. And also in the tournament with their 3rd straight win. Perlas Spikers losing in their debut, but nevertheless, and they finally get their feet wet, so to speak, and get some court action, competitive volleyball here in the Open Conference.
They've managed expectations of spectators, of people, specifically for Perlas, where they mentioned how they lacked time and preparation, but it wasn't a very bad start, I would say. But of course, there's still a lot of things they need to work on. Hopefully, they take it game by game.
But they got to play. That's the important thing. After all the challenges, all the adversity, they got to play today. And in 24 hours, less than 24 hours actually, they will play Cherry Tigo tomorrow. And we'll talk more about that and the Choco Mucho win when we come back to wrap this baby up. (25, 23, 25, 20, and 25, 20). And that is the final score here. That is match number 18, ending in a Choco Mucho straight sets win. It's got Tolentino. Are they making up? Ah, there you go. All the way in Canada. All the way in Canada. Yeah. And I know her sister also. They're celebrating a big family occasion also there in Canada, from what I understand. So there you go. Away from family. You've earned it, Kat. Go ahead. There you go. Congratulations. 9 points. She came into this match averaging 18 points and 9 today. But the thing is, a lot of players contributed to this win. And
yes, definitely. It was a team effort
Right.
for them. We've seen great defense, great offense, great blocking as well from the Choco Mucho Flying Titans.
oh, 2 great setters for Bali Pure Water defenders. Alina Bicar and the rest of her teammates are going to try to go on a 2-game winning run. while the Signal HD Spikers with Ayel Estranero, the birthday girl, is going to try to snap out of the loss that they, or bounce back from the loss that they experienced the last time out. But match number 18 ends with Choco Mucho winning their third straight and stays behind the Creamline Cool Smashers in our team standings. Wait up for game number 3 and match number 19 for your Sunday triple header in the PVL on One Sports. For Ann Remulla Kanda, I'm Boom Gonzalez. Eric Tepan is coming up next after these. Hang on.